Okay, let's do a bit of a red Andy. I mean, what? Already almost 7.7, 5 more, 2 more days, something. It's already late, but let's just see maybe in hindsight how good this is. All right, hold on. Okay, all right, do a bit of a red Andy then. Do a bit of red Andy. Valkyrie build guide apparently. Don't know how we react to this. Hopefully, just see that in the analysis and to see if it's correct or not.
Hey, what's up guys, it's me Baofam here, and today I have an updated tier list slash investment guide for Honkai Impact because the meta has completely changed in the past 3 patches.
I mean, that's true, right? We got the introduction of the Astering. Lana is instantly like what? Good. Sarin is also very good in every team. Lantern also motherfucking good. All of them, it is good. So like, yeah, like the amount of money you have to spend, which is fucking insane, dude. Like, come on, give us free maybe SP some shit now. Like, come on.
It's only been 4 months since my last tier list video, but the meta has changed so drastically that my
Oh
last
nah,
investment
part
guide
one,
is actually at
part one Valkyrie out the window.
update. And as per usual, these meta videos tend to be very outdated very fast, so please check the pinned comment for any new tier lists. Generally, these will be good for another few patches, although I'm feeling more and more unsure as we get new Valkyries in part 2. But yeah, also, I used to put a disclaimer here
Just imagine like the time for this dude, right? Just make one out, and the next patch, release like another Valkyrie, just out, just like overpowered or the old one, which is like brother. Like how long can you keep doing this?
that you can't really build one team because you need a team for ice, fire, physical, and lightning weathers. It seems like every single part 2 Valkyrie that has been released so far works synergistically with each other. So for example, Senadina, she's supposed to be a lightning DPS, but you're gonna see her as a support for Thelema, Land.
I mean, yeah, she was. I think she was initially a DPS, right? Was with Haley and Crowley, but then at the later release, she's just a support now in every team. Is it every team? Yeah, she's every team.
Turn and Joga Deception, which are ice, fire, and physical teams, which effectively makes Senadina a quadruple typing character.
My God,
that can go on.
Wait,
all
hold on. That is better than Truth, right? Because Truth only cover. Did she cover ice? Maybe. Fire and lightning. Physical is only rebuff, which is good. So I think she's like the first one to be good in every team, every element team.
Types of teams. This goes for a lot of the other part 2 Valkyries as well. So there really is not like a team to focus on anymore. Basically, the adjective ice, fire, physical, lightning teams only applies to part 1 teams since those Valkyries tend to really fall in line with their own typing. But all part 2 Valkyries.
Just part 2. Just reverse the order and then you have it a different DPS for different element.
Good in any teams, to be honest. So of course the newest Valkyrie is the strongest one to pull for right now. Joya Deception is the newest Valkyrie and a physical DPS as well as a decent support for other teams. She has bosses that are tailored made for her and she basically has zero competition in those bosses, or at least her competition will not be able to reach scores.
Hey, this one, right? I think I did use Sardine for once. And I think my score maybe around isn't that high. Do you think this thing appear in Abyss yet? No, I remember this thing appear in Memorial Arena already. I don't think it appear in Abyss though. If it did, then I probably got around very mid score with it, I think.
Close to hers. Her only real downside is that she's a lot more reliant on the Sarah Astral Op than other part 2 Valkyries are on any Astral Op.
Oh, so just fucking more pay to win then. Oh, awesome.
Elf. Now, you don't really need the Astral Op if you're not aiming for Nirvana or top 50 in Memorial Arena, but if you are aiming for either of those, you actually kind of do need the Sarah Elf, at least at S rank, but ideally SS rank. Now, another issue with Joya Deception is that if you don't have Senadina, Lantern, or the Sarah Astral Op, then you're actually going to be missing out on all that crit rate. Because Joya Deception is a physical Valkyrie, she does need to crit to do more damage, and unfortunately...
Okay, for the support, like, you need, what? I think he said Senna, Flamna, or Lantern, right? I think this is better than any part 1, right? Because part 1 you need what? Rebirth, a S rank, Prometheus gear, maybe? So maybe Senti as well. Whereas like, and that's like only covering physical, right? Whereas in part 2, what? Those covering every element. Lantern is a DPS, also a good support for Femna 1 as well. Selena is again a DPS, also good in area. Is also is a in single supporting area also part two team. So like they are all universal, right? So they're not like really restricted to like a single team. So that does feel good to pull for them. And like just pull for rebuff, which is only good for physical.
She doesn't
It
really
feel
have
like
enough
it feel like
self-crit
rebuff
sources that
in
let
a
her
kind of
crit
way.
reliably, so you really need one of those first three options I just mentioned. Ideally, you don't at least have a Dina, but if you have Lantern or the Sarah Elf, then those are actually good enough as well on their own. Ultimately, since we have so few Stardust Valkyries right now, it's kind of hard to not recommend her. Show Deception is basically
Okay, surely Sardine is enough. Surely Senna is enough.
very strong pull right now for all players, veteran or new players, and she is receiving a new support
man,
next
so
update with the
annoying.
new Teresa Valkyrie. Lantern is the premier fire DPS right now, as well as a very strong support for both Troy Deception and Thelema. Unfortunately, she is probably the weakest part 2 Valkyrie that's come out so far, that's an S rank at least. But this really does not mean anything, and should not discourage anyone from pulling for her if they like her, because she is still very strong, very meta, very relevant. Even though she's the weakest,
I mean, it's every part of team, right? Every part of new part to cast.
Or every new part 2 Valkyrie
they're
is
all
just because
meta.
she's lacking some cheese that makes her really broken. So, for example, Thelema has like time stop. Senadina is
the fucking film that was a war roll, man. God, that shit's so good. Like, I don't think does anyone have it? Like the time stop for Flamna. That shit is so unique and so good as well. Like, man.
universal support that does not need to be switching at all. But Lantern does have this cool mechanic with Thelema where they can both proc each other's QTE really fast, which makes for some really fast rotations.
I think it still apply to Songshou as well, right? Because they have the same astral ring type. What the fuck?
They can both proc each other's QTE really fast, which makes for some really fast rotations.
Huh? We good? 3 minutes? Yeah, I'm still alive. We're still good. Why is it just freeze there?
Today I have an Premier Part 2 Ice TP discourage anyone from pulling. Ideally, with the very support that does not need to be switching at all. Really fast, which makes for some really fast rotations. She's also really good for clearing hit count bosses because of her really fast attack rate. Really, I'd only recommend skipping her if you need to save your crystals, because she is replaceable by Coralie, although Coralie is...
Okay, Coralie, like, I mean, true, but bro, once you play with Lantern, right, you literally cannot go back to Coralie, bro. Like, what? Let's say Lantern DPS, right? Flamna, go in, ultimate, combo, go Lantern, combo, fucking ultimate, go to Flamna again. Do the thing, go Lantern DPS. Like, that feel, just the dopamine hit, man, is insane. You literally cannot go back to playing Coralie. Like, you just forgot to play her.
not nearly as strong as her in her like support roles or obviously as a DPS. So of all the S ranks so far, she's probably the most skippable, but at the same time, I still recommend her. Thelema is the premier Part 2 Ice DPS.
This is like a tips, right? Any new release is probably good. Like, it must every fucking this like every this happens to that's like the start of the game now, right? Like every new release Valkyrie, it is good. Like you need to grow for them. Like they are just good. Like you cannot skip them. I mean, like hair is skippable. All the new quantum except for Susanna is skippable. I know Vilfa is my wife, but you know she is very skippable. I think I skipped like Bronya EX. Who else did I skip? I skipped Kira for some reason why. Probably shouldn't do that. I think that's it. No, I do have Aponia. Aponia was good, but now it's kind of dog shit, right? So like, yeah, almost every new release is just good.
She is really powerful.
So yeah, you don't have time to skip them.
She has a time stop in her ultimate, which makes her really valuable. You'll basically see her in every single Part 2 team because she supports Senadina, Lantern, and can also support Jogo Deception if needed. Thelema is pretty reliant on the Songchua Astral Op once you're in Nirvana or top 50 Memorial Arena. But otherwise, you don't need the Astral Op. However, for any long,
let's go.
drawn-out fights, like for example in the Abyss where you fight multiple waves of monsters, it can feel very draining to play Thelema because without her constant solar outbursts, it does feel pretty slow. I said this earlier as well, but Philema and Lantern proctor this QTEs really well, so they work super well together as supports. Overall, Philema is a very strong pull. I recommend a lot of people to roll for her, and yep. Senadina is probably tied with Philema for being in the most Part 2 teams so far. Now, she is the first Part 2 Valkyrie ever released. I don't think she'll fall off anytime soon. However, it is worth mentioning that because
soon.
meta has moved so
Probably
fast,
soon, huh?
it's really possible that she just out of nowhere just completely loses all her value. I don't think this will happen personally, but it's just worth mentioning for anyone that wants to play.
Extremely cheap Valkyrie and her full TV is relatively inexpensive without compromising on power. Is that cheap? Is she that cheap? I mean, every part 2, you can just get weapon, right? But weapon is like another character by itself. Same mana, scrappable, same shit. Hold on, are there any recent starting rerun? I think all the recent one is just the previous patch, right? Because last time we have Lantern, this one we have Lantern, last patch we have Femina. I think it's been quite long since we have a starting rerun, don't we? So who missed out? Unlucky.
One of the newest Valkyries possible. Now, Senadina is really unique as a support because no one actually has to switch into her to get her buffs. She has a permanent buff that's always on.
What is the new update allow us to switch her on now? The new Latin boss, the fucking tank one, allows to switch to Sardine. We need to switch to Sardine to regen the Astral Ring. Don't know about the film. I don't know about the film rotation though. Probably
Even
need to
if you just hop into her.
research.
She also provides quick buffs, which makes her
better.
reliable support for Song Chue, and you'll also basically see her in both Philema and Lantern teams as a support. She's not a must pull, but she's still a very strong Valkyrie that fits into every single Part 2 team. Corley has really fallen off since 7.3, but she's just a free Valkyrie overall with free gears and a free weapon.
Me true.
The only reason why I would not invest in her
free.
is because you want to save your honkai shards for a different weapon, I guess. At the current moment, she's still a really strong placeholder Valkyrie, so for example, if you're like missing a certain Part 2 Valkyrie that you need as a support, then you just put her in since she has universal buffs. Helia only serves as a support for the Senadina team at this point, but I would not recommend.
I love how like at the start, right? Like you need to get the weapon. The weapon is somehow you need to pull for it. Somehow you need to pull for it. And then she's only good in starting team. And the weapon, right? It's only boost lightning. Okay, lightning is very good, right? But like it's only boost lightning damage. And it's fucking you need to pay for it, you need to roll for it. And like she's really good in one team. Where's Query? Sure, she is not that good. She get pocket very fast, but like I mean she's free. As he said, right? If you didn't have any part 2, if you're missing one, you can just put Query in. And you can put Helia in, right? Because I think she only boosts lightning damage or whatever. So like it's feel bad to get Helia, right? It just feel bad.
Pulling her weapon because there's just too many Part 2 bucks that are better than her at this current moment.
Yeah.
And you rarely ever do see the Senadina DPS team. Basically, I just don't think we see Helia enough to make her worth investing into.
I can't wait for someone to power grab Helia. I can't wait.
On her. Lunar Vow is my personal favorite Valkyrie, but also the most relevant Part 1 Valkyrie that's still seeing a lot of usage to this day. Lunar Vow has the power of a Hersher without actually being a Hersher. In fact, she is called the Hersher of brute force because you'll often see her doing bosses that.
What, is that nickname for Thunder now? Wait, is that used to be Thunder? Wait, no way. Isn't Hersher of brute force is Thunder?
Supposed to do. For example, in the video I'm showing right now, this is Hephaestus, which is meant for Hersher of Human because it has an ice weakness, and Lunar Vow is literally doing better than Hersher of Human in this boss, even though she's not ice type. She also tends to only use SP supports these days in Mobile Arena, which actually makes her teams pretty cheap to build. That being said, Part 2 Valkyries are inevitably going to take over all bosses, and I don't think Lunar Vow will last for much longer, unfortunately, even though I love her.
My wife, I can the wife,
right now,
man.
though, she's still extremely strong, very meta, but not as
I
strong.
think, okay, I'm pretty sure the new update will just boost her power even more, right? Like, she's sincerely good in Benares. The Traders one. Even better during the count hit. Huss one. I think she's just getting better, right? Due to the new the Terry Valkyrie next update. So she's just getting better.
Strong pull because she's been out for a while now. Cosmic Expression is also still strong, but that's only because Lunar Vow is strong. She's basically just a Lunar Vow support at this point. As for her DPS form, she's basically outclassed by both Senadina and Droga Deception.
I think Sana really just power grab her, right? Like she should she got so useless after studying got released.
She is completely tied to Lunar Vow, so if Lunar Vow falls off, she falls off too.
Hold
Even
on,
is
isn't she also count as support for Susanna? No?
the oldest still meta SP Valkyrie. Everything I said about cosmic
Soon.
expression applies to Eden as well.
Soon.
She's just big support for Lunar Vow,
Soon,
and
maybe
she's tied
useless.
to Lunar Vow. So if Lunar Vow falls off, she falls off too. The thing on Vicissitude is a very strong fire DPS and was also the last S rank release.
I hate it. I only able to get weapon. And the is it top or bottom? I can't remember. Like fuck man, I got my luck got so bad for the Sigmara. I got hurt so early though, but like man, the Sigmara luck man is so bad.
She's still really strong, but unfortunately her use has dropped a lot. She can't brute force all weathers like Lunar Vow can, but she can brute force all fire weathers. So even though she might be weak to like mech type, she can still brute force those bosses as long as they have a fire weakness. She's a strong Valkyrie that unfortunately came out at a bad time. Chrononavi is only a support for the Fanghwana Vicissitude right now, and
I mean, yeah, she's really good for fight
she
team.
has kind of fallen off due to the Part 2 Revolution. So basically, I don't recommend her gearing her at all. And I think even if you have the Fanghwana Vicissitude, there's just better ways to spread your crystals, unfortunately. So do not gear her. If you don't...
What have been the last time we saw her rerun? By the way, was it last 2 updates? I don't remember. She have one this update and the last one as well. So it's been so long since her gear rerun.
Almost fully built. The Harsher of Truth is still the universal Part 1 auto support for fire and lightning teams. Although unfortunately, it seems like her use has kind of fallen off since Lunar Vow seems to be using a double SP Valkyrie support instead of using her as her main support. Basically, you only really need her for Fanghwana Vicissitude teams, and then sometimes Lunar Vow teams, although most cases you don't need her for Lunar Vow. Obviously,
really?
You need it for the Harsher Trio team, but the Harsher Trio team has completely fallen off and has been replaced by the Part 2 Trio teams, which all completely outclassed him.
Motherfucking
Basically,
trio
she's still
team,
a really
man.
strong Part 1 Valkyrie, but unfortunately, this doesn't compare to the Part 2 teams right now.
Okay, if you know, you know. The Power Trio is coming back. If you know, you know.
She's still strong for Part 1 teams, but that can change the moment Fanghwana Vicissitude or Lunar Vow fall out of the meta. The Harsher of Rebirth is still required for Part 1 physical teams, and she is still the strongest physical Psi-type DPS. Unfortunately, just like the Harsher of Truth, she has kind of fallen off, and she's really dependent on the current physical teams to stay strong, so she really needs Dream Reaver and Harsher of Sentience to still stay strong in the meta. That being said, though, the Part 1 variant of the Trivia Deception team is actually pretty strong, which is like her.
I think Rebirth is strong in the vacuum. Like she's just strong. We should, I mean, yeah, it's a required, right? Like whenever like the physical weather is coming up, right? If the enemy is not status, she's just ultimately in the team. Like she's still good, but it's like all depend on the weather and the base shit, right? Like in this patch, we have like around 2 physical base that is not status. So like she's of course is required in every physical team for Part 1 and maybe Part 2 if you don't have the Part 2 Sardine, Lantern, Philomena, Valkyrie type. So do you need to prove her? Opinion? No. The weather barely appear. So like it's like same as maybe like what? Mobius maybe, let's say that. Her boss barely appear anymore. The wolf, right? So like you don't need to pull from Mobius because the weather didn't appear more. She's still for now. She's still a top Mike Lightning DPS. I think so. So like if her weather appear 10x more time, then sure prove her. But if it doesn't appear, then why do it, you know? It's like it's all depend on the weather. It's so annoying. Like of course Rebirth is strong, but it's like the weather barely appear. So you just don't feel the need to prove her.
Sure, Rebirth, Prometheus, and Joga Deception. That team is actually surprisingly strong, so at least she has that going for her. So if you don't have all Joga Deception supports, but you do have Harsher of Rebirth, it's actually a pretty strong team. Prometheus is also falling off like the Harsher of Rebirth, but unlike her, she's still actually...
just to say, right? I fucking hate how the recent weather is all motherfucking shield. So we have to go for hair. Motherfucking hair. Fuck her. She's so bad. She's only good in shield. And for some reason, they keep putting shield back. Like, come on, man. Just let the hair die. Just let her go, man. Stop bringing the hair back.
maintains a pretty strong usage for SS bosses in Memorial Arena. But otherwise, though, she's also kind of falling off. I'm not quite sure how, but Dreamweaver just manages to hold on to the meta every patch.
Yeah, because the devs just love to put in shield. Motherfucking mother. Stop.
I say meta, but she's like on the edge of just completely dying. Sometimes her bosses just randomly pop up, and I can't ignore it because they pop up enough for me to mention Dreamweaver here. Yeah, her bosses still pop up, but unfortunately,
So just someone says enter my room. Alright, continue.
you can actually just use a triple support team that features Star Impression, Cosmic Expression.
Oh yeah, I think I heard somewhere that the hair talent or skill is same as Songshire or something, right? Because her crit rate value is so low, like you need rebuff to convert that her crit damage to crit rate. I think I read somewhere, and it's same for Songshire as well, which is like funny.
And her share of rebirth, and that tends to do just as well as her in most cases. But she's still somehow strong with the meta. Don't pull for her, but I have to mention her.
Yes, don't pull for her. Yes, chat, don't pull for her.
She's still somewhat, like, barely meta. Her share of sentience has not seen any usage recently, actually, which kind of surprised me because her divine key came out after.
Oh yeah, she had the break, right?
And also there has not been any bosses for her share of rebirth DPS where she can actually support her share of rebirth either. So unfortunately, I don't know what's happened, but I think she's completely fallen off. I'd like to dedicate this entire section
There's
of the video
the no, there's one with Fua. There's one with Kalan. No, Kalan appear. Kalan is good. You can use rebirth for Kalan. That shit is good.
The death of Part 1 Ice teams. Unfortunately, none of them are meta anymore, with the exception of maybe
Lame.
Kira. Her share of human has been completely power crept by both Lunar Vow and Thelema. Jade Knight is completely reliant on his share of human being strong, so she's also unfortunately dead now.
I mean,
now,
good that she's dead because I don't have to pull for Kira shit anymore.
Really not like the Wardens where they have basically a black HP bar. You still do need Shigure Kira. And basically, instead of using her
Kira survived, but that one mechanic, like, that is so annoying. The Kira anti-mechanic, it's just black bar. Like, no one else do it except for Kira.
You just use Shigure Kira with Lunar Vow, and that does a lot more damage and clears it faster.
What is even black bar that exists, man? It just forces to use Kira.
I
mean, Kira's good. Kira's adult.
But otherwise, though, I think Part 1 Ice teams are completely dead, and you're only going to see Shigure Kira for the Warden's boss, really. So yeah, that's the end of this investment guide. Like I said earlier, if I'm missing a Valkyrie that you're looking forward to, I'm sorry. They're just
where's Mobius? Where's who else? Where's fuck, who else? Oh, where's Kiana? Where's who's your origin? Where's you, bro?
Hopefully I didn't hurt anyone's feelings with this, and like I said earlier,
you know this
meant for the meta.
Oh yeah, you heard me, bro. You heard me, man. You say that what did you say? Hold on. Learn about cosmic. You say that, and you say that speech not no longer meta. You say that you say that you say that series dog shit now. That's gonna hurt me, bro.
You can honestly get through a lot of this game with like really old Valkyries. So if you feel this hard,
I mean, you can get through, not through Abyss. Abyss, you get down to the bottom right.
Tier list. Don't worry, you can actually get most of your crystal income and everything like with old Valkyries.
Oh yeah, yeah, but like your depend on your luck, right? It's just I just hate this. Is like a topic on its own, but like you need to pull for 2 characters basically. Weapon is 60 PD and character is 90 PD. Same shit.
Anyways, please do leave a like and subscribe if you like this video. It really means a lot to me. I spent a long time making this video as usual, and once I get into college, like for my 2nd year, I'm not gonna have that much time to make videos anymore. So
holy bros and village as well.
Suffice
insane
for an investment guide. Anyways,
all right,
peace.
Good video, and we're of course we're gonna watch the other one, the one for the next update. So yeah, all right, good shit. Go watch this video as well. Like and subscribe to him as well. Good shit. Support him as well, man. He's he's in the college. They come you should improve for reruns, and you like them. Okay. Elephant and love, Madame should remember my heart. So true. Seeing Ali being power crap so Saturday most fun and peace part 1 vlog today. Most fun? No, not most fun. I need bro her SB, man. Fuck her SB. She knows man her SB, bro. Alright, okay, I think we should done today then. Alright,